Hello dear students, today we'll continue our work on linear equations in one variable, exercise 14b with question number 14. So let me read the question for you. Question says, a man is 42 years old and his son is 12 years old. In how many years will the age of the son be half the age of the man at that time? So let us try to understand the question line by line. A man is 42 years old and his son is 12 years old. So it is pretty clear. Now in how many years? Okay, in how many years will the age of the son be half the age of the man at that time? Okay, so after how many years, basically the question is asking after how many years the man's age will be double of son's age. All right, so that's what is the question asking. So let the time be x years. Okay, so after x years the age of son will be half of the age of the man. All right, now after x years, see currently it is 42 years, right? So after x years man's age will be how much? It will be 42 plus x years, isn't it? Now similarly son's age after x years is going to be, it will increase by x, isn't it? So that's why son's age will be 12 plus x years. Okay, now after x years we know that man's age is double of son's age, right? So that's why from here we can say, or son's age is half of man's age, right? So son's age is 12 plus x is equals to half. That means divide man's age by 2. All right, do the cross multiplication. So 2 into this full thing becomes this much. So from here calculate the value of x, which turns out to be 18. So what is x actually? X is the age after x is the time period after which the age of man will be double of the age of the son, right? Okay, so the required time for us is 18 years. All right, so you may pause the video to note down. Okay, so the next question says, a man completed a trip of 136 kilometer in 8 hours. Some part of the trip was covered in 15 km per hour and the remaining at 18 km per hour. Find the part of the trip covered at 18 km per hour. So basically there is a trip happening, for example from here to here, just imagine. All right, and what is the total distance? Total distance is 136 km. Okay, and from travel in order to travel from here to here, total time taken is 8 hours. Okay, now the man is traveling with the two different speed. One is 15 km per hour and other is 18 km per hour. So for example, let us imagine in between these two, till here man travels with speed 15 km per hour and the rest with 18 km per hour. All right, so the distance, that is the distance. Okay, so let me first write what are the things given. So it is given that total distance is 136 km. Now let me assume how much kilometer will be traveled using 18 km per hour distance. So let me take that distance to be x kilometer. Okay, that means for x kilometer the man has traveled with speed of 18 km per hour. Okay, now the remaining distance, that is 136 minus x, right? See, total distance is 136. He already traveled x kilometer. Now what is left? The leftover is 136 minus x. So this many kilometer will be traveled with the speed of 15 km per hour. All right, fine. Now let us find how much time is taken in order to complete the whole journey. Okay, now time taken by the man to cover x kilometer, we are talking about only x kilometer. Now we know that time is calculated using this formula, right? That is distance by speed. Now how much is the distance? Distance is x kilometer, right? Okay, and how much is the speed? Okay, for covering x kilometer, speed is 18, right? So that's why it is x by 18 hours. All right, so these many hours is taken in order to cover x kilometer. Similarly, in order to cover 136 minus x kilometer using this formula, see distance is how much? 136 minus x. And what is the speed? Now in order to cover this much distance, speed was 15 kilometer, right? So that's why it is distance, that is 136 minus x divided by speed, that is 15. So it is also in hours. So what is the total time taken? See, for covering x kilometer, this much time is required, and for covering the rest of the distance, this much time is required. So what is the total time for the journey? It is x plus 18 plus this much, right? Now this plus this gives me equals to 8, isn't it? Because 8 is the total time of journey. So that's why we have this plus this equals to 8. So solve this and find the value of x. Alright, so I have just shown you the solution and you know how to solve this. So from here the value of x turns out to be 96, right? And what is x actually? X is the distance covered with the speed of 18 km per hour. So that's what the question is asking us to find. So that's why part of the trip covered with 18 km per hour is 96 km. So you may pause the video to note down. Okay, so let us take the last question for the day. The difference of two numbers is 3 and the difference of their squares is given to be 69. Find the numbers. So there are two numbers whose difference is 3, right? So if one number is x, then other number has to be x plus 3, because the difference is how much? 3, right? Okay, now it is given that difference of their square. So take the square of each, that is x square, and the square of this will be x plus 3 whole square. Now the difference of these two becomes 69. So from here again you calculate the value of x, which turns out to be 10. Alright, so what is 10? 10 is one of the number, and what will be other number? It will be 10 plus 3, that is 13. Alright, so our answer will be 10 and 13 for this particular question. So you may pause the video to note down. Thank you very much.